receiving yards.
Yeah, it feels good. Blessed to be in this opportunity. Just can't wait to keep stacking these weeks.
Lincoln Riley talked a lot about how he's really confident in the whole team earlier. What is his confidence? How does that affect you?
Yeah, 100%. If the coach is confident, it's only going to make the players confident. So, we're just putting our full trust in the coaches, going out there and do what we need to do.
How having Jacoby this past week, what was it like to have to step up a little bit and kind of fill in those gaps?
Yeah, for sure. The guys knows next man up. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to dwell on it too much. Wish we could have him out there, but, he's going to be back soon.
What was your message to Jaden Richardson, knowing that he was going to be out there with you guys?
Yeah, 100%. He's been, dialed in still, even when he wasn't playing. So, when he got the opportunity, he was ready for it, and he did a great job.
How can you tell a guy who's dialed in like that even when they're not playing? Is it just like what they do in practice? Like, what are the cues that you kind of look for?
Yeah, 100%. All the players, hold each other accountable. If we see one guy, off to the side, not really paying attention, tell him, hey, man, get closer, man, be locked in. So I feel like everybody just preaching that, and that's what happens.
You guys saw Jaden Mayava, obviously, during fall camp, and maybe obviously since last year as well. Has he exceeded your expectations in any way?
Yeah, I know what type of quarterback, Jaden is, man. He's one of the greats, man. So, to really showcase that on Saturdays, it was such a cool thing to see.
When Michigan State cut it to one touchdown, what was the vibe of the offense, and how'd you guys end up extending the lead again?
Just doing what we need to do. We ain't worried about it too much. If we just play our game, we're going to be just fine.
What leadership did you see from Jaden Mayava in those moments?
Yeah, definitely, hyping the guys up, telling, stay tight. This is our game, don't worry about what Michigan State got going on. Worry about what we got going on, we're going to be good.
Jaden seems like a really humble guy, so how does that humbleness kind of keep you all grounded at this point, especially when you're winning so many games?
Yeah, he's just himself, So when he's just humble like that, I feel like it's all, feeds off into the team, so I feel like that's how we all move.
What have you seen from Illinois on film?
Yeah, great team, great coaching, great defense. So, we're going to go out there on Saturday and do what we need to do.
It's going to be the first ranked opponent that you'll play this season. Do you guys, put any stock in the rankings? Who's where?
Yeah, no, we don't really pay too much attention to that, Just do what we need to do, and we'll be just fine. Don't matter where the rank is at.
Through 4 games, what feels different at this point than this point last year, would you say?
Yeah, I don't know. We just got to keep stacking the weeks, Don't even worry about the past, good or bad. So, just moving forward, keep stacking these days so we can be the best we can be.
This is the second road trip. I know you're an experienced guy, but do you feel like the team learned anything from that first road game at Purdue that they can apply this week?
Definitely. I feel like we learn things from, every game that we play, win or loss, what I'm saying? So we just take those things that we, learn from, be better and don't do it again.
Any specifics?
Nah.
No. Do you think you learn more from a win, or do you learn more from a loss?
I feel like it's kind of equal, but definitely, I feel like if we don't do the right things, we're going to lose. So I feel like we definitely do a lot better things when we win. So, but I feel like we definitely take away a lot of lessons from each game, win or loss.
Having such a dynamic run game, Waymo and Eli, what does that do for you, confidence standpoint, having that with your offense?
It feels good. Every time they touch the rock, they get a first down or a touchdown. So, I just make sure, we block and, those guys can go for explosive play and, any play.
Where does Walker impress you most as a receiver?
You said Walker?
Walker, yeah.
Yeah, he's a great receiver, great tight end. So it's a big body. So I just know that he's going to give his 100%, every time he hit the field, and that feels good, as a teammate playing on the field with him.
What did it mean to you to get that the award today for being the versatile player of the week in college football? What did that mean to you?
Yeah, blessed, to receive any award. Don't really pay too much mind to it. Keep doing what I got to do on the field. Let the accolades talk, let the outside talk for me.